What makes for a good city car? If you ask us, it comes down to two things.
The first is size. The meager real estate Metro Manila provides means more people are better off opting for something more compact, save for those who need to lug around family members on the regular.
Number two is that you're definitely going to want something you'll be fine being stuck in traffic in. Because trust us, you're going to be doing that a lot around here.
Today, we have with us the Toyota Wigo TRD and the Honda Brio RS, two top-spec mini hatches presenting themselves as ideal urban runabouts.
And we're here today to determine which of these two vehicles fulfills that role better.
As mentioned, both of these are top-of-the-line variants, so they get all the extra aesthetic bits that you'll find in these models. On one hand, you've got the Wigo that's been given the full TRD treatment, while on the other, you've got the Brio wearing the RS badge. Overall, the Wigo actually looks a bit more aggressive thanks to those TRD accents, but I like the Brio better. That grille and that protruding lower lip gives it a beefier look. Plus, look at that back top. But more important, the Brio looks fresher. Granted, the hatch was launched back in April 2019, but this is an all-new model that's been given the drastic design changes, especially out back. Whereas the Wigo, well, it's significantly newer, but it's just a facelift of a facelift. So it doesn't really strike us as something new.
Now, when it comes to the interior, both cars are pretty basic, but considering the price point, you should probably expect that already. There are plenty of hard plastics, and thankfully, the layouts are free of clutter and very easy to get a feel for. We think though that the Brio here has a clear advantage. For one thing, there's a wider variety of colors thanks to some trim that pops out. The seats feel better, and the dashboard looks much more modern than what's found inside the Wigo. Perhaps the only advantage we can think of when it comes to the interior in the Wigo is that there's some nice fabric found on the door panels which gives off a slightly more premium vibe, but other than that, we're really leaning towards choosing the Brio here.
I'm currently aboard the Wigo, which is powered by a 1-liter 3-cylinder engine that generates 65 horsepower and 89 Nm of torque. This is mated to a 4-speed automatic that sends power to the front wheels. The Brio, meanwhile, gets a 1.2-liter 4-cylinder engine that generates 89 horsepower and 110 Nm of torque. It also features a front-wheel drive layout, but that one gets a continuously variable transmission. Obviously, the Brio is the punchier hatch, but that also means that the Wigo is the more fuel-efficient one. However, the fuel savings aren't enough for me to give the Wigo the win. I prefer the extra oomph, which I reckon will come in handy when the cabin is filled to capacity or just for simple overtakes through the highway.
So for speaking about ride quality, you really have to take into account the size of these two hatchbacks. You're not going to want to run over anything that's too large or noticeable because these cars are pretty small, and if you run over sizable potholes or bumps, you're really gonna feel it. So what we're looking for here really is which of the two provides better comfort in terms of NVH levels. And when it comes to that, I feel that the Brio really is a cut above the Wigo. For one thing, I noticed that there's much less rattle inside the Honda. Inside the Wigo, I really felt that there was a lot of rattle, and when I was driving over even slightly imperfect roads, the rear view mirror really shook, like you'd have a hard time paying attention to what was behind you. In the handling department though, I will have to give the point to the Toyota. While both of these vehicles are a breeze to handle through traffic, the steering wheel of the Toyota just feels sharper and there's a better weight to it. Whereas in the Brio, it could feel slightly artificially assisted at times. But again, when it comes to this, it's also a matter of personal preference, and me, I kind of tend to lean towards vehicles that have a slightly heavier feel to them.
As expected, there aren't a lot of toys to go around with either of these cars. That being said, the Wigo does get a few extras that the Brio doesn't. For starters, there's a push-to-start ignition in the Wigo, and the infotainment system gets Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity, which is a very, very big bonus. And get this, the Wigo gets a reversing camera with reverse parking sensors. Between us two, there seems to be clear consensus. Yeah, it's a bit tight, but in the end, the Brio just comes out as the better 5-door.
While the Wigo here may have the more efficient powertrain as well as slightly better smartphone connectivity, we still think that thanks to its more consistent styling and more powerful engine, the Brio manages to come out on top.
To be honest though, it's hard to go wrong with either of these. Just put your biases aside and you'll see that, as always, it's all gonna boil down to your budget and your needs.
Basically, if budget and economy is more important to you, you might be better off going with a slightly more affordable Wigo.
But if you want a slightly bigger hatch with a sportier drive, then by all means, get the pricier Brio. Anyway, that's about it for this comparo. Do you agree with what you've seen and heard today? Well, tell us in the comments. Feel free to suggest what cars we should compare next to.
And if you want a more detailed breakdown of our comparison today, just check out the full article in the link below. This has been Dre Laurel for Top Gear Philippines.
And this has been Leander Gesha, and we'll see you next time.
Considering the price point, you should probably expect that already. There are plenty of hard plastics and the layouts are okay lang yung hangin. Sige, tigil muna ako.